Amanda here from createyourfuture.co. So today we have Ani joining us. Hi, Ani.
Hi.
Guys, so Ani is a coach here at Create Your Future, and we have an amazing success story. She turned him around from being a major player and checking out other girls on social media and stuff to basically being obsessed with her. So exciting. So, of course, like always, guys, when we go through the success story, use this as a catalog. Like, this is going to happen to me. This is something that's going to, if this is happening for somebody else, I can do it too. And then also, we're going to go through a few things in areas in your life that you can take a look to check into to make this change for yourself. So, welcome, Ani.
Yes, thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Um, my client was having some issues with her boyfriend, and he was constantly on social media, checking other girls out, commenting on other girls' pictures, and just it was a constant issue, the social media. And I guess she had created him to be a player or to be a ladies' man. And her self concept was she had become a victim of this issue pretty much. So she felt like not good enough. She felt like she constantly had to check social media to see what he's doing, what he's up to. Has he commented on other girls' pictures? Like she was constantly looking for evidence, but not good evidence. Just more evidence to confirm that he's not a loyal boyfriend or a faithful boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
So after a few sessions, she did her homework, she did the intentions, we switched up the mental diet, we switched up the self-concept, and what happened was he even told her, like, I think I'm going to delete all my social media. I don't need it. Because I have you, like, I don't need to look around. Like, I have you. I want to be faithful to you. So it was like a huge shift.
That is huge. That's so amazing. I love that. I just love that. I think you nailed something really important and key was, the whole self-confidence of not being good enough. We put these things on a pedestal, and we think, oh, they're so up there. Like, especially if we've been single for a long time, sometimes
Yeah.
it's hard to make that sort of shift and to believe that we could have something that we really, really want, right? So by making the statement that I'm good enough to have it, we actually really start to shift that and we take it off of a pedestal, right?
Yeah. I think self-concept is probably the most important. How you see yourself. So
Mm-hmm.
I think there's two factors here: how you see
Mm-hmm.
yourself and how you see the relationship with the other person to be, or how do you see them to be with you. So
Mm-hmm.
first, how you see yourself is if you're constantly feeling like it's never working out for me, he's always doing something to hurt me, I'm always taking it personal, I'm always feeling like a victim, what happens is uh, you're putting them on a pedestal. And when you put someone else on a pedestal, you're completely forgetting, like, you're a god of your reality at that point. You're completely forgetting it's your movie, you're the director, you're calling your shots, you're just giving all the power to them, sitting back, waiting to see how they're going to treat you or how they're going to hurt you next, right?
Mm-hmm. Exactly, exactly. And you know what I always like to do, when there are things that show up in my life that are just like overwhelming or like easily for me to react, or I lose that feeling that I'm God, is I create some small things and I intend that I'm going to start to see how I am God of my reality. And I just throw those little tiny things out there and just see them. And, that moment where I'm thinking about, oh, what should I make for dinner? And all of a sudden, and it's like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So it's not even close to dinner time. And Andrew's like, what are you making for dinner tonight? And then that moment, I'm like, oh yeah, you know what? Yeah, like I was just wandering about through the kitchen, going to sit on the couch, watch some TikTok, thinking this, and all of a sudden he comes up with that statement. Like what? I was like, I wasn't even rooting around in the fridge. You know what I mean? Like, so it's like those little tiny moments really bring us back. But one thing though that I wanted to talk about was social media. A big topic. So I get the let's go on social media and look for evidence of how he doesn't want to be with me, and that sort of thing. So, there's no right or wrong answer. Should you look at social media? Can you? Yes. Can you? No. So it depends. Okay. So are you going to go on there and start creating stories and trying to link up that, this person's, picture with 5, guys and 1 girl that he liked is because he likes that 1 girl? Are you going to go and make up stories like that? Or are you going to go on social media intending to see, and create, stories that everything supports what you want? So, I think there's a fine line there. What are you going to go do on social media? I remember that I would go on to, Andrew's social media when we first started dating, and I would start saying, well, he's going to, like my stuff. He's going to send me a friend request. He's going to, and I would look through and I'd create stories like, oh, he's a really nice guy. He put up pictures of his family, his business. I was like, that's really cool. And I used it as that and not a way to create, the reaction, the opposite. So if you're not strong enough to be on a good mental diet on social media, then don't go on it. Right?
Yeah, I agree. Like,
Yeah.
I always tell my clients, like, if you're feeling low and you're not at the best spot, like we're barely working on you believing that you're the god of your reality, I don't want you to check social media. Why? Because it gets you obsessed. You're constantly looking for evidence of, does this person like me? Does this person give me attention? Does this person even care about me? No. If you're going to become a manifesting machine, I want you to work on yourself, work on your self-concept, your intentions, your mental diet. Don't go looking for something outside of you to prove to you that you got that power, right? You don't need any evidence. All you got to do is the easiest thing, the list of many manifestations.
Yeah, exactly. Do that list daily. Do it consciously. It's some of the little tiniest manifestations have made me to be the most powerful creator in my reality, and it really just comes down to that, is the constant reminder that everyone is being pushed out, the constant reminder that my thoughts create, the constant intention that, I always get what I want, and if things always work out for me and everybody else involved, also the constant reminder that my thoughts create, and I see evidence of that every single day, and I always see that correlation, and putting, basically a good self-concept of yourself out there, as well as believing in the law of attraction, and then creating that little list of things that really don't matter, but you start to see that they actually are showing up. You're going to be unstoppable, like seriously unstoppable, because every time you look out there and you say, oh, that's it, they haven't texted me yet, this doesn't work, you've just blocked everything. You know what I mean? Especially when a general statement like this doesn't work.
Yes.
It's like the universe is like, okay, nothing's gonna work for you. So I intend that everything works out for me perfectly the way I want it, always, constantly. See, clean that up. I'm not gonna leave it as the way I said it, right? So incredibly important.
One thing I've noticed is mental diets. If you're not aware of your thoughts, those subtle things you do or think, they could creep up on you, like, and you can spiral like crazy. And I'll give you an example. So let's say you did your intentions, you're good, mental diet's great, you're checking on your thoughts, right? And then all of a sudden you're like, let me post a picture of myself to get his attention. Boom. You're looking for validation. You're looking for attention. You're not believing that you're God of your reality, and you're already attracting what you want by all the work you're doing. So you're going outside of yourself and pushing action to get a reaction from that person.
That's right.
That makes sense.
That does make sense. That does make sense. I mean, my famous one is I've already done enough to get the results that I want. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's already here, it's already happening, so I've already done enough to get whatever I'm looking to get, instead of creating that I've got to do something else to get what I want, posting a picture to get that reaction, and then when the reaction doesn't come, right, going down, because really, I mean, and I've been guilty of it. Okay, you know what? I got to do intentions to fix this. Okay, so that statement right there is a complete block, because I've got to do what to get what? No. I've already done enough right now, and it's coming now. This is what I'm going to get. So it's even those little subtle, things in our statements. Like I'll see something in my reality that's just not. I'm like, oh, I don't like that. I got to change it. I got to change it. I got to do intentions to change it. No. Do the intentions right there and then. I got to do da. It's done. And right now it's going to change, right? So be careful that we're not doing, that as well, and saying, okay, I've got to do this to get that. I'm going to put up that picture to get that reaction. I mean, no, I've got enough pictures out there. He just chases after me. He's completely obsessed with me the way I am now, the way my reality is now, for who I am now, right? So start affirming that everything right now in your reality is perfect. It's exactly the way it needs to be for you to get this person to be obsessed with you. Now, let's break it down. What does obsession look like? What is obsession to you? Okay, are they constantly like asking you if you're okay? Are they constantly texting you? Are they constantly on your social media blowing it up? Like, what are they doing to show you that they're obsessed with you? Be clear on that. Start intending, they start doing and saying those things. What would their thoughts be if they were obsessed about you? Start writing those down. Start intending that as well, right?
Yeah, definitely. And what I told my client, how we did it for her was, first we did intentions about self. I'm good enough, worthy, whatever I desire desires me. I'm God of my reality. I see evidence of my intentions manifesting into 3D immediately or now. So we did self ones, and then we did ones about SP. So he's extremely respectful of me. I intend I'm number one priority. I intend all his attention is towards me. And he keeps telling me, like, I just want you and only you. I'm faithful to you and only you. And then what we did was, you have to constantly remind yourself what's in here. Your imagination is what's real. What you're seeing out in the 3D, that's already, it's done. Like, if you like what you see, focus on it more, get more of it. If you don't like what you see, you don't have to dwell on it or keep dwelling on it to reactivate it and to invite it more into your life. You have to, it's like, I've mentioned this in another video. When you plant a seed or an intention, you put it in the dirt, you don't see that seed ever again. Are you standing right there and getting extremely angry that you don't see the seed sprouting or blooming into what you expect? No, because you know better that take some time. I got to water it. So, I got to take care of my thoughts, my mental diet. And then eventually it comes up to the surface.
Yeah, exactly. Well said, and that's exactly what it is. And, one thing to stop spiraling out in your thoughts is use distraction, or, sometimes people use a song. Sometimes if I'm spiraling out really bad, I write intentions. I say intentions to stop a spiral. I say to myself, Amanda, look at, your thoughts create everyone as you pushed out. And then I start my intentions. If that doesn't work, I'll go and distract myself. Okay, I'm going to go for a walk. I'm going to think about something else. And then, I'm going to revisit this and I'm going to start making intentions. Or, altogether, if it's really bad, I just sit down with a pen and paper and I start writing intentions. I force myself to write intentions. So guys, you've got to find a strategy that stops you from that spiral out. Sometimes I've heard, this psychologist I used to know that helped me with some business coaching years ago. He said he would play the MASH song in his head because he liked it. So like every time he would just sing that, so they call it to break the rumination, right? When you're ruminating over something and you want to stop that habit, you've just got to break it with something. You've got to interrupt that pattern with something that's going to make your mind get off of it because you want to stop it. And then once you stop it, make sure you clean it up later with intentions for sure. Right. So if that's only when it gets too bad. But if it's like, light during the day, like I get it, you just go back and forth with yourself and then you win the fight and you walk on, life goes on, right? But you've got to fight that fight. Everything that you want is just on that other side of those thoughts, right? I was thinking the other day, it's so simple. It's so simple. All I have to do to get what I want is get on top of my thoughts and think that I'm an amazing person. Like, that's it. Like, honestly. That's it. How simple is that? Well, it sounds simple. It's not always that easy. I want to create, though, right now. Everybody create. It's easy to stay on my mental diet. It's easy. And it's simple for me to change my thoughts around. It's easy for me to get what I want. Like, let's stop creating it. This is hard. Because it doesn't have to be. It can be fun. It can be easy, right?
You know why I think, I love how you mentioned that. You know why I think as humans, we're always trying to look for a problem? Because we've been conditioned that way since childhood. when you're in school, it's always like, solve this problem. What's x plus x? What's this problem? Solve this problem. So you're always like, I need to be in problem solving mode. Since a child, you've been like, how can I fix this? How can I do this? Let me see what the problem is so I could fix it. And then when you grow up into an adult, you're constantly looking for problems in everyone, in every environment, in every situation. And you're constantly trying to be prepared, defend yourself just in case something bad happens, to protect and defend yourself, right? But you don't have to always look for a problem to protect yourself from it. That's what we do in relationships. I've noticed. I used to do it too. I used to be like, well, if he does X, Y, and Z, then I better be prepared for it. Just so, like, I guess it's an ego thing, right?
And then that if he does X, Y, Z, and I better be prepared for it, we're actually creating him to do it.
Yes.
And we're from the end of him doing it, right? You know, and that's where the shift needs to happen, is to look at, you know what, if he does X, Y, and Z, I'm going to do it, but in a good way. You know, he's going to buy me flowers, and he's going to tell me that I'm the most amazing girlfriend, and he's going to apologize to me for me having to put up with all his junk, because he appreciates me. He realizes that I've done a lot for him, you know, and really start shifting that to, changing how the dynamic of it. I think that's really important, to get someone obsessed with you as well. Change that dynamic, start creating what, that they are thankful to have you, that they, that you put up with them, and they recognize that, and they say that, I know every once in a while, right? I walk up to Andrea and I say, thank you so much for putting up with me. And he was like, what, you? He's like, no, thank you for putting up with me. I'm like, you? I'm like, you're fine, right? You know what I mean? Because, and I think it's important, but it just goes to show, again, when you get into that state of, what, thank you for putting up with me, like, I really, really appreciate you. Then they're like, oh my God, no, thank you for putting up with me, right? When you come to that feeling of being sorry, and that feeling of, appreciation, then there you pushed out, they shift into that as well, right? If we're in the state of, no, you've got to apologize to me, then they all of a sudden, there you pushed out, they're like, no, you've got to apologize to me. Oh, okay, my headset's falling off now, but I got through into that. But you know what I mean? Because there you pushed out, right? So start creating how they feel. Stop questioning, start creating. That's the huge thing there,
Absolutely. We always have two options. Either look at it in a positive way or look at it in a negative way. Both to the universe are neutral. Universe is like, whatever way you think about it, I'm going to give you more of it. So you decide.
Right.
Your choice to decide. So you always have the option. You're never like, you don't have to be a victim of every single circumstance. You can always choose. Should I think pleasantly about this, or should I think like, no, defensive victim mode? Like, I'm not gonna,
Yeah, exactly. We make that choice. And I'll tell you, I mean, I don't remember the last time I've ever been in victim mode, but I'll tell you, it's good not to be, and it's nice. It's not always easy to take responsibility for things that show up in our lives. It's not always easy. And I'll be honest, sometimes, it's not about recreating somebody. Sometimes it's about walking away as well, because we just don't want to put the time and energy into recreating a relationship, not saying with a specific person, but with anybody, I mean, it's not about, okay, well, I'm a failure if I don't recreate every single person in my life, I mean, that's not what this is about, and never to look at it that way, right? It's about, it's about you, and you creating, you being, the God of your reality. And, and there's nothing wrong with saying, look, at that relationship's toxic, I'm not going there, or I'm going to recreate it. Like, you get that choice as a creator. And there's no right or wrong answer. There's no success or failure. Those don't exist. There is no success. There is no failure. There's only creation, right? So that's one thing I want to throw out there to everybody. There's nothing wrong with recreating an ex or getting an ex back. There's nothing wrong with manifesting a specific person or crush. And there's nothing wrong with saying, I'm done with that. I'm going to go play in this other playground with these other people. Like, it's all just creation. And we need to stop judging ourselves for our creation and just start letting creation be for what it is, right? And that's just creation, and the only person that can judge what you do as success or failure is you. And if you're going to judge yourself, guess what? Everyone's you pushed out, other people are going to come start judging you. So start going easy on yourself so others will start going easy on you as well, right?
You can't make a mistake.
No, we can't. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being here today, Ani. I think this is like the longest video in history.
Thanks for having me.
And guys, Ani is available for coaching. Definitely check out the link in the description below. And if you would like to ask me, Amanda, a question, then definitely sign up at the Patreon. I do answer all your guys' questions there on the YouTube lives that I do. So awesome. So guys, thank you for liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing. And we'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.